able to do all these things, to transition, to change the mindset, to redefine our priority and goals, I think education is quite a key, and not the education that we have today. There's also a need to rethink education and the approach in Africa. And that will bring me to the next panel. As I said, please keep your questions coming, and whatever you have and you want to share with Aya's office, she's very happy to attend to them through her team. And again, thank you, a sincere appreciation to you, Aya. So that will bring me to our next panel, which is again about education, as I mentioned. Since Aya finished up on a note of education, I think we can take it off from that point. To introduce our next speaker, Mr. Khalid Badu from the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University. I'm not able to give so much about Mr. Khalid, but he would share about himself when he intervened. But as some of you would probably already know, or if you don't know, Mohammed VI Polytechnic University do have a lot of opportunities for you in scholarships and openings that can help in driving the change that we need in Africa. And Mr. Khalid will be able to share some of these concepts or opportunities that are available in this university. He is the Chief Communication Officer at the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University. Mr. Khalid, you're welcome, and you do have the floor now.
Thank you, Richard, for the introduction. Thank you for inviting me to take part in this discussion, and I'm really very happy and proud to see African young people from all around the continent contributing and thinking about the future of Africa, and especially through education. And so I'll try to be very brief because actually my session was from 1 to 2, so I'll try to stop at 2 sharp, and then we'll be happy to leave some time for some questions. But I will be also happy to get your questions by email or by LinkedIn. That would be appreciated. So I'll start by showing a very short movie about our university in a way to visualize what does it look like. What I want to say is that this is an purely African university since its creation. It has been oriented and dedicated to defending and to finding solutions to the African problematics in science, technology, humanities, and business administration. And it's a research university, so it's a new model of universities in the continent. A research university. Why? Because we have learned from past experiences that African growth and African development cannot be successful if it is not associated to research. And today, Africa is a consumer of research. It's not a producer of research. So our university is here to find solutions to African problematics through research, through education, and also through entrepreneurship. So I'll show you a short movie about the university, and then I'll take it from there to...
In 2017, a new research and innovation university was inaugurated here in Morocco. Designed from the outset to be an ecosystem for innovation, research, and entrepreneurship. The first of its kind to be built in Africa. A next-generation university with 5 founding principles. Promoting research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Developing skills and knowledge. Bringing forth a new generation of competent leaders. Developing sustainable partnerships. Sharing the values of social responsibility and sustainable development. Attracting many of the best minds from Africa and across the world to its main campus here in Ben Guir, 50 kilometers from Marrakesh. Mohammed VI Polytechnic University has a forward-looking approach to research and education, fully focused on innovation, experimentation, and the pursuit of excellence, with an ethos of learning by doing. PhD students and professors work together as part of a unique entrepreneurial culture, developing pertinent research projects critical to helping Africa realize its potential, with experimentation at the heart of education, starting research in small laboratories before scaling up to full-size experimentation in our living labs. Such as the experimental farms to test new methods in agriculture and fertilization. Making ideas grow and incubate in the innovation and entrepreneurship platform with a network of mentors, coaches, and numerous scale-up opportunities. By bringing humanities and technology sciences to the continent, and by educating the next generation of competent leaders, Mohammed VI Polytechnic University brings a solid contribution to Africa's sustainable development. Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, nurturing today's talent, impacting tomorrow's Africa.
Thank you. So this is just an introduction, and as it was mentioned in the video, it's an African university with a motto, which is empowering talents, empowering Africa. So empowering Africa goes through empowering talents, and empowering talents go through education, through research, and through supporting entrepreneurship. So it's a university that has supposed to be in its beginning in 2009, when the idea was presented. It was supposed to be a corporate university to OCP Group, and OCP Group is a leading multinational in phosphate industry. You know that Morocco certainly has more than 60% of world reserves from phosphates, and phosphates needs in order to, there is the rock. So what Morocco was used to export for a certain period was the rock of, raw material. But then the new management of OCP thought that it would be a good idea to valorize this rock, and instead of selling it as raw material, transform it and sell it with higher added value to the rest of the world. So that was the initial idea. Before it took the name of His Majesty King Mohammed VI. And at that time, it has been given the mission to become a university for Morocco and for Africa, not only for an industrial group. And through this university, we try to cover the main challenges of the African continent: human capital development, public policies, sustainable industrialization, and the management of natural resources. And we start by, of course, all the thematics that are very important to the development of the continent, and mainly agriculture. You know that in Africa has more than 60% of world arable lands that are non-explored. So 60% of the world non-explored lands are in Africa. So which means Africa has the potential to be the farm of the world, and to be the farm of the world, to produce for self-sufficiency, but also to reach exportation in terms of agriculture, in terms of transformed or non-transformed agriculture material. We need to go through research and through industrialization. So this is why the main problematics you can see here on the right corner are about water, agriculture, environment, renewable energies, geology and sustainable mining, etc., etc. And as I was speaking about a different model of a university, we have a whole ecosystem that's not only based on the university itself, the university campus, but a whole ecosystem around it. So we had the opportunity to have access to something like 1,000 hectares of land that was given to the university. So we're a land grant university. And in the middle of this land, you have the campus of the university, but around it, you have different, what you call the living labs. So as our research is based on experimentation is only inside the laboratory, but also experimentation is also in what we call the living labs. So the living lab is, for example, this green energy park that is dedicated to producing renewable energy for the university through solar energy, but also to make research on new energy sources, including biomass, including solar, of course, and other types of sources of energy. We have also a data center, and you will learn very soon some very good news about this data center, because it has been classified within the top 5 most performing African data centers, so which is one of our prides here at the university. It's also at the top 25 or 26 world most performing data centers. We have also Green Smart Building, in which we have hosted last year the Solar Decathlon, the Africa Solar Decathlon, which is it was an international competition dedicated to creating and to founding new houses, very intelligent houses, smart and green houses that are being used today for research in finding new solutions on how to make buildings more adapted to climate change, more adapted to the context of for the planet that's been heating, etc. So we have about 20 teams that have participated, and all of them had very smart projects, and all of them had as a mission to create houses that can be adapted to the African lands. And we had some very good surprises, actually. We have what we call the Station M, which is called today, the official name is StartGate, which is an incubator, a giant incubator that's dedicated to startups, so that they can either startups coming out from our students, our researchers, but also startups from all around the continent that can come here, that can be incubated, that can benefit from trainings, mentorship, etc. That can also get access to the other components of the ecosystem of the university, including the living labs, including the research centers, to create a highly performing startup ecosystem here in Ben Gurion, in addition to a tech park that will be dedicated to important enterprises that can come here and set up their research labs and work closely with the University for Research and Education, but also Station M, or the StartGate, for to have access to innovative startups. I'll try to be fast a little bit so that I can leave some room for Q&As. So scientific research is one pillar of the university. And as I was mentioning, we have what you call the living labs that are highly sophisticated in offering solutions for the researchers to apply their lab research in those living labs. So it's real scale laboratories. It's an experimental farm that is dedicated to research in agriculture. We are also opening other experimental farms in other African countries, so that we can adapt solutions of fertilizers, for example, to the needs of the different African countries. We have the experimental farm, the experimental mine, which is dedicated for mining, for experimenting research in mining, etc., and many other components. We have also created a very innovative model in terms of research, which we call the research in mirror mode. And you can see here some of our partners. We have more than 90 partners today from all around the world. And those are some of them with whom we have created this mirror model. So we have our researchers here in Morocco, based in Morocco, in Ben Gurion, who are working in the same research team as researchers from the MIT, for example, on the same subject under the supervision of one of our of MIT professors. And this is really a very important way to scale up the skills and to develop the capacities and the skills of our researchers, so that they can be improving drastically in a very short period of time. Instead of going abroad, spending a lot of time there, and then maybe coming back one day to their homeland, here the idea is from wherever they are, they can of course go and do trainings in the partner universities, but most of the research is done on local problematics on the local land with the support of partner universities. We take also the privilege to test and to try conventional and non-conventional pedagogies. So here we can see all the different components of our university in terms of subjects. So I can summarize it here. We have a science and technology cluster, humanities, economic and social sciences, and the business cluster. And all of them are composed of different schools and PhD programs with an objective to scale up very quickly in terms of skills and knowledge. And we are applying a methodology of learning by doing, which means that we are our students benefit from experimentation first. Before going into theoretical courses. And this is a very breakthrough innovation that we have, of course, got inspired from different partner universities from all around the world. But when applying it here at our university, it gave really a huge acceleration to their knowledge and to their skills. What I need to mention here is that we are a highly inclusive university. So about 70% of our students have scholarships, full scholarships from the OCP Foundation, which is a non-for-profit institution. And our university also is non-for-profit. So we are owned by OCP, which is, let's say, a state-owned company. So we have a public mission. Morocco today is going through a huge strategy of supporting and developing the African continent, and hand in hand with the other African partner countries. So here we are trying to foster and to accelerate the collaboration South-South between Morocco and the other African countries, the other friend and partner African countries. So we make our partner countries benefit, or the students from partner countries benefiting from the same scholarships as the Moroccan ones. So they can have 100% scholarship, the same as any Moroccan students. It depends only on the skills and the capabilities and also the expertise in specific specialities or fields of studies. So this is the conventional side of education. The unconventional side of education is through the digital learning lab. So we have started since the beginning, before even that COVID begins, we have started in developing MOOCs, massive open online courses that are dedicated to undergrad, graduate, and research programs, in which not only our students, but anybody from outside the university can benefit from our MOOCs. And we are also, we have created for the high school university students from all around the continent a platform called Prépa Digital, which is dedicated to preparing to the foundation courses for the engineering students before getting into engineering schools, what you call in French classe préparatoire. And those courses were open during the COVID time, were open to all African countries. About 33 universities have benefited from those programs. And of course, this is something that we are proud of. And of course, it was open for free for all the partner universities. And this is something that really makes us think and believe that digital, and this is not something new for any one of us after COVID, digital is the future of education. So we are anticipating on that. We have also a coding school that's called 1337, which is also, there is no professor, there are no requirements to join this school. It's only peer-to-peer learning, and it's also about passion and interest on the coding. So students spend a whole period in which they test their capabilities of coding. So they spend 1 month exam. That's the longest exam in the world. It's not an exam, actually. It's kind of practicing. And then the algorithm takes the best top 100 or top 200 students that will get into the school, 1337. And from there, they will spend 3 to 5 years training on coding at no charge, of course. They are everything, I mean, they have all full scholarship, and they can benefit from this training to form a new generation of coders that are aware of the African problematics. We have also other programs in the School of Collective Intelligence, which is one of its kind worldwide. And the School of Collective Intelligence is really a place where we have learned to do things in a different way, because today education is very conventional. You have courses, you have credits, you have programs, and you need to follow and you need to finish. But collective intelligence is much more about bringing the value out of the people and bringing the value out of the students. Of course, it's not on technical programs, but for example, for HR students, this is something that they can go through very well in order to prepare them to have managerial skills to manage groups through collective intelligence. This also applies, actually, the director of this school was a former member of the campaign of Macron and of Obama, and through collective intelligence, they have implemented a certain number of methods that were applied, and they are now teaching them to our students. So this can be applied also to the groups, the communities, to politics, and to other private and public environments. So we have this flexibility to use and to try different unconventional methods, because we would like to be a different kind of university, and the different kind of university means we are here to propose solutions, not problems, but to find solutions and to change the paradigms that are becoming quite obsolete now after the COVID. A lot of things need to be rethought about and redesigned. Just quickly, 1,400 students, about 1,800 by now for this academic year. We are very keen to have an important number of female students at the university. We are today at 55 male, 45 female, and in some schools, for example, the engineering schools, we have more girls than boys, and this is something we are proud of, and we try to be very selective in terms of registration of the students. So 2 criteria: excellence, academic excellence, and of course to be from an environment where you can be of an added value to your family and to your community for the future. We are also multi-site university in a way that we are opening centers in different cities of Morocco, and hopefully in the future in other cities in the African continent, in a way to find or to propose solutions for the problematics of the of the different cities, and to be in proximity to the local needs. So here, for example, Ben Guerir is the main campus where our university is, where we have all the main science programs. Rabat is the capital. So we have delocalized our humanities and governance and social science school and political science school to Rabat. Rabat is the capital of Morocco. We are opening also the business school in Casablanca. So Casablanca is the business center of Morocco, is the economic capital, let's say. Mazagon, which is near to a huge or the most important chemical hub or chemical factories in Morocco. So we are creating environment-friendly laboratories on chemistry to be in proximity to this center. And last but not least, Laayoune, which is in the Moroccan Sahara. And in Laayoune, we're opening this, we have already opened the African Sustainable Agriculture Research Institute, which is dedicated to the problematics, finding answers to the problematics of the African continent in terms of biosaline water, in terms of camels husbandry, for example, in agriculture in semi-arid or arid zones. And also we are opening a campus very soon in which there will be specific educations that are appropriate to the needs or pertinent to the needs of the region of the south of Morocco. The third pillar of our university. So the first one is research, the second is education, third one is entrepreneurship. So I talked already about the StartGate platform, and which is dedicated to, it will be the host, or let's say the platform that will host all those programs that we have here. So for example, a startup or somebody with an idea of a startup can come join the program. He or she can benefit from the Entrepreneur Academy to learn what are the skills that he or she needs before starting his startup, what are the main knowledge or the basic knowledge she or he needs to be able to acquire before getting into the program, etc. Then we have other programs. For example, it depends on the nature of the startup, so they can benefit from mentorship, they can benefit from different types of programs. So to be able to scale up, we have also a venture capital that's part of the university and that can take participations in the startups, in the most innovative startups, that to help them seed and to help them develop their business. So these three pillars, let's say, are the main components that make of our university very particular, and that makes of it like a kind of, I don't want to, to use the name of Silicon Valley, but most of the time we are described as being the future Silicon Valley of Morocco, because we are aligning research, education, and entrepreneurship. Of course, we are part of our ecosystem, and to be part of our ecosystem, we contribute through partnerships with the local authorities to make our students participate and contribute in the local development. And this is through research in quinoa, for example. We are in a semi-arid zone, so our researchers work on how to make the local agricultures benefit from their land, since it's not given usual crops, so they can have something that's of higher added value, namely the quinoa. In this regard, we are also developing digital platforms like applications, for example, for a kind of local Uber, but much more dedicated to the Moroccan food. For those who know about the Moroccan food, it's very tasty. So some of us, like staff members, professors, sometimes are far from home, so they have only the usual canteen food. But this application helps them in getting some of the Moroccan tasty food, homemade food, through by connecting them to local chefs, local ladies from the city where the university is hosted, and where they can connect with them and get some tasty food on the go, or being served wherever they are. So this is a kind of our collaboration to make the local communities benefit from the support of the university. And I will finish by this very short video of some testimonials from some of our guests, and I will be happy right after that to take your questions. I see already some hands that are being raised. Thank you.
I think that what we should be asking ourselves is what really is happening in Africa. And I think that it is remarkable in terms of a rising Africa and a new Africa, and a lot of the different conversations that I've had. I've just come from King Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, which I think was, to put it in vernacular, blew my mind away. It was just really fantastic.
Je crois que le rêve du roi Mohamed VI, de voir que le Maroc, certainement qui a des ressources, mais surtout compter sur les ressources humaines et de bâtir ces ressources, pas seulement pour le Maroc, mais pour l'Afrique et pour le monde. Donc, ce que nous sommes en train de construire ici, c'est de voir comment le monde de demain peut apprendre de l'Afrique.
I've seen here transformation. So when we talk about transformation of African economies, this is an excellent example of what can be made, the necessary element to transform fundamentally African economies by bringing together knowledge, education, and production.
Thank you very much. So ready to take your questions. I don't know if somebody will ask questions, or I will be just.
Yes, thank you very much, Khalid, for the wonderful presentation. There are a lot of comments. People are quite impressed with the work of your university, and they are asking, why do we struggle to go abroad to study when we have such a wonderful initiative in Africa? So it's really great. There are already some questions. I'm not sure I captured all of them in the chat, but if I didn't get your question, feel free to raise up your hand. I see 6 hands already. I'll get to you soon. And if your hand is still up from the first panel, please do bring it down, except if you still have some question relating to Khalid's presentation. So one of the first questions I saw was people asking if the access to the university is open to Moroccans from other universities, so other universities in Morocco. The second question would be whether you already have affiliated centers in other African countries or just only in Morocco. Do you have other centers you're working with in other countries? And the third question, you mentioned about scholarships and competency-based scholarships where you select students that are doing well in certain areas and offer them 100% scholarship. There was a question about whether also there is some scholarship for vulnerable youth from poor homes or poor people who probably do not have access any kind of social vulnerable scholarship. I don't know how to frame that, yeah, but something of that nature. Yeah. And feel free to raise your hand, Older. You can take this response for now, and then we will take other questions. And perhaps it's also quite faster if you type in your chat, because I'm not sure we can take all the questions by voice, since we have to finish at 2. So it's better if you can type in your question to the participants, I mean. So Khalid, you can take this one for now, and we'll take more.
Thank you, Richard. So I'll start by the first comment about why do we need to go abroad to study while we have this university in Africa. It's exactly the same. I mean, the mission of the university is to first to keep the African talents in Africa while offering them high-level education, and second, and also as important, is to bring or to offer to the African diaspora from all around the world opportunity to come back to their home continent. And we have some very interesting experiences in this regard. Moroccans, but not only. We have Ethiopians, we have Egyptians, we have also, from Ghana, from Gabon, many professors, many researchers or PhD candidates who have been, for example, in France, in the US, or elsewhere in the world, and who have chosen to come back to the continent, to Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, because we are offering them what is needed, what they can find, and most probably what they couldn't find in their homeland back in the past. So we are here to offer them whatever is needed to come back and to make their country and their continents benefit from their experience and from their expertise. Is it open? Is the university open to all Moroccan students? Yes, of course, as long as they have the capacity and the skills and the knowledge that is needed. Of course, there are some selection criteria depending on what level you apply for the university. If it's for undergraduates, graduates, or research PhD programs, there are different call for applications all around the year, especially for research programs. Last year, I can tell you that we have received something like 25,000 applications, 95% of which are coming from Morocco. We had to select something like 500 students. So it's something like 2%, where it's highly competitive, but which means that we offer the opportunity for the best students to not let them go somewhere else, and to offer them the opportunity either to stay in Morocco or in Africa. And of course, the scholarships are open depending on the revenue of the parents and the revenue of the family, or of the students, if he's on or she is on a PhD program or looking for a PhD program. But I can tell you that we are very much keen to offer highly competitive offers, especially for PhD students. So they are getting paid to follow their study here at the university, and they are being paid more or less something like what as a PhD student in Europe is getting paid. So this is just, it's not because we have a lot of money, no, but because we have a mission, and we have also, a mission, we have also trying to make our country and our continents benefit from our experience. I answered actually at the same time about the last point, which was related to scholarships. So feel free to stop by our website. Actually, this needs to be updated for the next academic year, but you can find already some top line information about our offers. Do we have affiliates, partners in other African countries? We don't have affiliations, but we have partners in different African countries. We in Ghana, in Gabon, in Senegal, we have a lot of partners in Côte d'Ivoire also. We are also working especially in the Anglophone Africa, let's say, with some partnerships. Also with South Africa, we have a joint executive, that's mainly an executive program with the University of I just forgot the name, but it's a university from South Africa that's with which we have a joint executive education program. So yeah, so we have partners. We have also the plans to have other centers of the university in different African countries, but that will be on another next step. Maybe I haven't mentioned that before, but our university is less than 4 years old. We were open in 2017 inaugurated by His Majesty King Mohammed VI. So in January we'll have our 4 year. We celebrate our 4th year, but we know and we feel that we are doing a kind of leapfrogging some of the steps, and I mean, first to consolidate whatever we are doing here in Morocco, and after that hopefully to open in different African countries. But all the students from all Africa can benefit from the same scholarships. They can apply the same way any Moroccan student can do. And just between brackets, I can tell you that in some of our programs, we have 75% of our students that are coming from other African countries than Morocco. They're coming from Egypt, they're coming from Nigeria, they're coming from Senegal, they're coming from Ghana, etc., Ethiopia also, and 25% are Moroccan students in some specific agriculture programs. So we are really open for that, and we'll be very happy to continue sharing information with the participants here if they are interested.
Thank you, Khalid. So there are more questions, but some of them are very specific about application criteria and in different fields. So I would encourage you to visit the website of the university to find this specific response to your course of interest. But for other questions, I would go. There was a question about if you have online management courses. The second question, whether you mentioned that your research program are only for PhD. And then the third one, yeah, someone acknowledged that it's good that we have your type of university in Africa, but are there art sections opportunities? So maybe opportunities in art courses. I'm not sure if that's what the person mean, or like promoting some arts and cultural event in your university. But feel free if that was you who asked the question to come up. Yeah, so one about whether you have online management course. The second one is if the PhD research, if the research is only for at PhD level. And the third one is whether you have opportunity for art sessions. And after that, Newfel, I would take your question. Newfel Faraji, I see your hands up. I will take your question after Mr. Khalid responds to these 3 questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
No, just hold on, Newfel. After the response, you can take the mic.
Okay, just quickly on the different points. Online management programs. This is coming. This is on the pipe. We should start some management programs, online management programs very soon. We are trying to redesign some of our courses or many of our degrees, especially master degrees and executive programs into digital because of all the new trend. And this will open the opportunity for students and executives and also people who are already working on the job market to follow courses online very soon. So stay tuned, and this is something early 2021, inshallah, it will be coming on the pipe. About the masters, actually research is starting even from undergrad. And when I talked about learning by doing it's practicing. It's the first step of research. But then all our programs are research oriented. So for example, our agriculture master degree, it's a research master. Which means that you have courses, but you do also practice on the ground. And for example, I'm talking about the Master of Agriculture and Fertilizer Science. Students, they have a piece of land. Like every student has his or her own piece of land in the experimental farm of the university, in which they can practice whatever research they do in the lab. They can practice, I don't know, irrigation methods. They can split it on different parts, and then to every part give specific type of fertilizer, specific exposure to the sun, and specific number of liters of irrigation per year, for example. So just to test how the production or the products of the research will grow. So this is something that's part of our DNA, and research is quite transversal to all the different point. Last question, add programs. I didn't get that, unfortunately. Maybe if the person can resend the question back on the chat. But
I was asking if you have opportunity for ad section. That was precisely the question. But I suppose maybe some ad courses like performance ads or something like
advertisement.
Yes. If you are the one who asked that question, would you mind precising? I'm trying to find the name, but.
In any case, we will share the presentation. We'll share also a very comprehensive brochure on our university. It's even more updated than our website. But our website will be updated regularly, and hopefully by the beginning 2021, you have many of the programs you're asking for. But right after the presentation, we'll share with you the brochure, and then you can find most of the answers, I guess.
Thank you very much, Khalid. Okay, so we will take you, Nufer, for 30 seconds, please, and just go straight to your questions. And after that, I would take Geoffrey Tanguy.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid, for your sharing. I really like the idea of the university. So I'm Nufer from Algeria, graduated from Polytechnic School here in Algeria. So I am wondering whether you have like post-graduation offers in field of process and chemical engineering. And the second question is like how to get the fully funded scholarship in such a university. And thank you.
Thank you, Nufer. Godfrey Tanguy, yes.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you very much to Mr. Khalid for such an insightful session on the university. So, am I audible?
Yes, go ahead, Godfrey.
Yes, thank you. So, yes. So briefly, my question is on whether the university is able to offer any internship opportunity for aspiring students. Because internship is also part of an important integral part of any curriculum. I think apart for PhD, perhaps master's program, is it possible for students that are, for example, aspiring to be part of the university, or maybe enroll for any program? Will there be such an opportunity? Also, in terms of the exchange program, does the university facilitate the exchange programs, in the sense that, for example, if a student is to do an exchange program in different countries, the university able to facilitate that? And also with regards to visa arrangement, for example, if a student is to travel to Morocco, for example, to undertake a certain program, is the university also directly involved in the processing of visas, for example, or maybe perhaps arranging visas for students that are desiring to come to the university? Thank you.
Thank you, Naufel and Godfrey. So some of the points are related. So just to answer to Naufel, I just sent you in the chat an email address you can write to. It's about the chemistry department of the university, and I'm confident that what the specialty you are looking for, they have something to propose in this regard. Regarding the scholarship, I mean, it's exactly as I mentioned, the same process. It's an online platform. You just apply with the different, resources, family resources, taxes, etc., just to justify the family income or your personal income, and from the other side, all your grades and your transcripts, etc. So it's an online, very transparent platform. You can apply. This should be open by, let's say, by mid-February next year for the registration for the coming next year. For the PhD programs, it's a different process. It's a call for candidacy. You apply, and then it's a different process. It's managed by every department depending on the needs and depending on the profile of the candidates. But for the undergrad and the graduates, which means bachelor and master degree and engineering programs, it's through an online platform in which you can apply very smoothly. About the exchange programs, for the moment, not yet. And I'm talking about exchange programs in a class their classical way, which means I mean, you just go spend 2 semesters in a new university and then you come back to your home university. But we are working on, because today we have a different model, which is every school and every department is quite independent and applies a specific program. Some follow the French system, which is a kind of by semester. Others follow the credit system. So we are trying to unify that in a way that our credits could be accepted in other partner countries. But for research programs, they can of course spend some of the time of their research here here in Morocco, and then go, for example, to UK or to US to follow part of their programs, like a long period, like 3 months, 6 months, to spend some time with the local team, etc. Regarding the visa and the accommodation for the students, yes, the university, once you are, actually what we did last year for the first time is that we delocalized some of the exams, the access exams in other countries. So for example, our professors went to Senegal, and we, with a partner university, we organized exams there in Senegal, under the supervision of our professors, of course. And then all the students, and then even interviews were spent there. I mean, were taken there. So when the team came back, they had already an idea about who are the top 10 or top 15 students to hire from Senegal in this specific specialty. We are also enlarging that. We are trying also to find some digital solutions, you know, to take exams remotely from wherever you are. And then once you are selected, once you submit your documents, we work closely with the Moroccan embassies in the different countries to facilitate all the visa procedure. So if you pass the exam, if you, of course, your administrative documentation is fine, then we do all the necessary to make you come. I mean, even in the COVID time, just to give you an example, even in COVID time, we had some students that have been already selected to join the university. There were less flights from Morocco to their different countries, and we have worked closely with the Moroccan embassies in the different countries to bring them to start their studies at the same time, like all the other Moroccan students. So everything is planned, let's say, to make all students from all over the continent benefit from what our university is offering.
Thank you very much, Khalid. There are a lot of questions coming up, but we already elapsed your time. And if you have 2-3 more minutes, we can take last 2 questions and we can stop at 14:10.
2 more questions, because I just need to join.
Thank you very much for your patience. So we will take your question, Tracy Moinewa, and after Tracy, I would take here Arnold. So if you keep it 30 seconds, then we can have Khalid respond to them before they leave. And then one question that was asked is about if you offer mentorship to people who already have maybe some idea of what they want to research on, but are not very sure of their viability. So if you have service that can offer them mentorship to put them in the right perspective. So Tracy, this is one question. Okay, yeah.
Just very quickly on that. Today, it's we propose research programs, because when we have a research program, which means we have a sponsor behind, which we have a company that's sponsoring this research. So which means there are funds to pay for the students. So when we open, so we do it the other way around. So I mean, top down. We announce what are the specialties we need, and the people apply, and then they can join. But when they join, they have the possibility to start working on different other types of research programs that are maybe of interest to them, or which they have been already working, etc., etc. Hopefully, in the coming years, we can have this opportunity to have PhD programs or PhD students come in without having a specific program to join, but they can start already from the research based on their pitch. Maybe they will have to pitch their program, and then if it's okay, then it should be taken.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Khalid. Folks, if you still have unanswered question, I'm sure Khalid and his team are happy to answer you if you go to the university website and write on the contact us page. You should be able and see their programs. You should be able to have more information. Okay, he also put the email of the university, communication@um6p.ma. So you can write to them with your specific questions, and I'm sure they are happy to answer you. So thank you very much, Khalid, for these wonderful presentations and for the wonderful job your university is doing. Please do send our appreciation to them. This is something great. We need it really in Africa, and I hope that you would continue to grow your base and your programs to accommodate as many Africans as possible who wish to expand their capacity, their competencies to build the Africa that we want. So thank you for your time and your patience with us.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for participating in the session. It's been very wonderful moderating the session with you. It's been active participation, and I hope we keep the conversation